we're going to go into half guard. First set, we're going to go knee shield engaged. So from here, when I come in, I connect my toes so that I have an anchor point. That puts my ankle roughly at about his hip. And then I like the knee to be roughly at his sternum. If we go too low, literally just leans his body weight and crunches. And if we go too far to the outside, the knee becomes open too easily. So literally, I like to think about just spearing him right in the sternum itself. And then my hands are going to be up. So first set we're going to do is just from here. All Matt's going to do is just lean in, body weight, and start pushing. And my goal, if I stay in my little cashew guard, okay, you're going to get crushed. That knee shield does not last very long from here. So when he pushes, open up, spear with your knee, let him drive, let him drive, let him drive. Okay. So grab your partners. We go half guard, knee shield, or Z guard. Get that shield in place, hands are up. As he's driving in, I'm going to go ahead and go double frames, one into the chest, using that Z guard or that knee shield in place. Through here, when I get ready to open up the gap that I'm looking for, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knee to push him slightly diagonally that direction, and I'm going to use my hand to help guide him as well. As soon as I do, I'm going to start making that sit up like we did earlier when we put our knee to the ground and just started to come up, leaning my pressure into my right knee. Left knee is going to disappear, left underhook's going to engage, and I'm going to accidentally, on purpose but not hard, headbutt Matt in the side of his jaw as I come up. So through here, I'm going to give him that little shove to create my space. My elbow is going to start to connect to my knee. So when my knee disappears, my head, as I sit up, my head is going to go in and connect to his jaw. Now I'm up, get up into my dogfight. Then from here, I pull to bring my knee out to my hand. Okay? If I go the other way, you'll pull and you'll go here. Matt just felt my head pressure disappear from the side of his neck. When I pull and my knee goes out towards my hand, now any pressure I put with my head will put him offline. So now as I push, we can aim for the hand, but the knee is much slower. If I reach for the hand and he repositions or rebases, hands disappear very quickly. That knee is a much slower object. But my head is actually what's going to make almost all of this possible. It's okay for me to reach for his leg. That can happen. But the mere fact of my head being stuck in the side of his jaw, the moment I even reach, his whole upper body is going to go that way, which is going to make it way easier for me to have power when I go in. I'm not trying to pull his knee to me. I'm just pinning his knee in place so that my forehead pressure pushing through his neck, I'm just going to continue to drive him over his own leg. Then realistically speaking, how we fall and how I react is going to be more based on what Matt does than what I do. I have the underhook on one hand and I have his knee on the other side. When I drive in, if Matt is an aggressive player, more than likely that knee starts to slide to the outside, but I still control this one. So it's a baseball slide to the finish and finish my pass. If when I come in, he gets caught by my pressure and that knee gets pinned, okay, at that moment in time, I get a choice. I can pass to the front or I can pass to the back. It's an option at that point. But I do need to kind of make a quick read. When I start to collapse in place, do I have two knees in front of me or do I only have one? If I have one, you go to the front. You don't go to the other side. Go to the other side, you walk to his guard. Okay? If both knees are literally in front of me, you can pick and choose how you like to go. Make sense? Okay, so again, biggest part is, and this is where I see for a lot of people, there's lots of variations. When I come in, again, my head goes immediately to his neck. And that's what I mean by I'm accidentally on purpose going to headbutt him, but not hard. My head will come in immediately to his neck and I'll get into my dogfight. From here, you can see where my right hand is. When I release, my knee goes to my hand. This keeps and maintains pressure. So now when I reach, I'm already driving in to finish my pass. If I pull my leg out from underneath his and it goes sideways, we're going to be more hip to hip. I'm going to lose my forehead pressure because we're going to be more sideways like this as opposed to being perpendicular to each other. We're going to be more parallel. If you go parallel, it's a different fight. If you go perpendicular, it's a different fight. Each one has different requirements. And right now specifically, I'm going perpendicular, so I keep my head in place, and I can go immediately into my drive. Right? And then once he's on the ground, at that moment in time, all he's got to do is pull half guard, and then we're off and running, going back and forth. All right, let's get 1, 2, 3. The only thing we're going to do is when I get up into my dogfight, I'm framing. Again, I give him 2 pushes. I'm using my leg, which is way stronger, to give him that little kick to create my space. Then everything dive bombs in and my head goes immediately into the pocket. As I come up, I pull. Now right from here, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let Matt push into me. Okay, as long as my head is in play, and as long as I didn't screw up and let my head get too low or too high, his power doesn't really exist. He's pushing sideways. I'm looking in a straight line. He's pushing sideways to push into me. His base is going the wrong direction. My base is going the best direction. I have all of my power given to me, and he has none. Okay? So in that moment in time, a couple things are happening. One, I'm placing my head in here. It gives me that frame so that now, again, if he's trying to push in, my head is literally the frame that's going to stop him. 2, if in that instance, because he's going to be trying to throw his whizzer and the like, as long as I'm connected, his whizzer loses a lot of its power to ultimately take me down. Again, one of my favorites is whizzer to front headlock or whizzer to front guillotine. Start going after your neck. When you're defending that, I'm passing your half guard, going into darces, or just simply passing. But again, if my head is in position, even the guillotine's gone. So now, the only thing he's got left is either retracting to create space so that he can adjust and face me, but I eat that space up as he moves, so he never gains it back. That's one of the reasons why that whole knee pick works. Okay? So if he can't drop my head low enough to use his whizzer and to get the guillotine, and if he can't pull away from me, because I'm just going to chase him and hit my knee pick, one of the other options that they always try to do is they try to go above my head. They can't push me down, so they try to go above to get in position. So when I'm here, and this is my escape, again, my head's in position. Okay, go ahead and try for a front headlock or guillotine. Again, every time he wants to run, all I'm going to do is eat up the space. Okay, he can't bring me down, not with my head connected. And if he wants to try to go for my head, what was Matt having to do? He was elevating, okay? Every time he elevates, I keep my connection with him so that we stay in the same place, okay? The part I didn't do is the body lock, which then at that moment in time, if I'm here, I didn't do any defense other than my head through here. But the moment he starts to sit up, I use the underhook that's already there. I can also use the other hand. As he comes up, I can either transition into a full body lock around the waist. Okay, I can suck his hips in and drive him over, or it's literally so easy. I just use my hand to guide his hip. My head guides his head, and we go from this side to this side, and you land literally in side control. The more aggressive he becomes, the easier it gets. It's when he tries to run away, you got to chase him. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into that position Put your head into the side of their neck, okay? And then, at that moment, all I want is the other person to just try to push in. Literally, just try to push in. Keep your head in play. Then I want you to try to play the wizard. See if you can get their head down. See if you can get to a front headlock. And then, partner, just like I did with Matt, as he's moving, you just react to him. If he starts pushing away, you chase. If he pushes in, you elevate. Okay? And then either finish the takedown by chasing him, or the more aggressive he gets, you run him to the other side. Does that make sense? Okay, but again, I want you to start with about just a couple seconds worth of doing absolutely nothing except controlling it, using just your head. He moves, I move with him. 3, 2, now I fight back. Again, you have to get, this is another shield. Okay? Again, it's these things. Like, Muay Thai is called the art of 8 limbs, but realistically speaking, we're either at punching and kicking range, it's only 4 weapons, or we're in knee and elbow range, it's only 4 weapons. Rarely am I ever dealing with all 8 weapons at the same time, but you are in jiu-jitsu. Okay? When I'm dealing with Matt, that forehead pressure is real, his knee shields can be real, hands can be real, elbows can be real. We use them differently. Our pressures, we have a lot more. Jiu-jitsu is, if boxing's only 2 limbs, if Muay Thai is the art of 8 limbs, then jiu-jitsu is the art of infinite limbs. Because the way we use it to create our pressures, using the floor as other counters and things of that nature, we get almost infinite possibilities. All the others are very limited. So again, if Muay Thai is the art of 8 limbs, and I'll argue that you're only using 4 in any given range, okay? Jiu-jitsu is way deeper than that. So 1, start to get your head into the game as part of your shields and your frames, and it's also part of my defensive strategy. When I hide my head here, you're not getting it. You are not going to get me in a front headlock. You have to break my posture first. You have to disconnect me. All right, let's give it a shot. That, for myself, is what I'm predominantly shooting for. I just want the separation. I want to get up. I want to get to a position where I'm back to my knees. And I want to get back to a base where I have abilities now to at least get into the dogfight. Okay. All I've ever asked for is, in any circumstance, is to be given the chance. I don't want... What?
Nothing. Go.
What?
Nothing.
No, you giggled. It's too late.
Carry on.
No, it's too late. You have to now identify.
Carry on.
Okay. But again, when I'm playing guard, and again, this is what we were just talking about over here. When you use your shield, there's 2 reasons why people use it. You're either hiding behind your shield, okay, or you're strategizing behind your shield. Okay? Most people are hiding. They put their shield up, and it's pure defense. Oh crap, putting my shield up, maybe I can weather the storm. Okay? One of the first parts where jiu-jitsu makes people stronger is making it to where you're now strategizing behind that shield rather than hiding behind your shield. Put it up, get faith in it, that it can work, it does work, and then you can see what are the signs when it starts to break. Yeah, so I can strategize behind it, and again, my whole goal is just to get a chance. Okay? Hate to say it, in my division, when you've got 350-pound guys smashing you down, whoever gets on top first tends to win not just 51% of the matches, not 52% of the matches. They tend to win like 90+% of all of the matches, just simply based on who gets on top first. So, guess what one of my goals is? Get on top, and guess what my second goal is?
Stay on top.
Don't let them get on top. If I can't have the top position, let's get to a scramble. But I'm not going to let you sit on top of me, knowing that your odds went up. Okay, and this is how it goes. We can pretend in jiu-jitsu, oh, the little guy can beat the big guy. Yes, he can, but it takes an intense amount of ability to make up for that size difference. All things being equal, bigger tends to beat smaller 90+% of the time. That's why we celebrate so heavily when the little guy wins. Okay? We make a big deal out of it because we're like, jiu-jitsu works, because it does. But the reality is that when you allow that size to become part of that game, it's hard to overcome. So again, so that's why I just, when I'm in my position, I'm just looking to get into the game as quickly as I can, create that space, don't let him connect to me, okay, and separate as much as I can. Okay, now, who's ever dealt with a super hard whizzer when they've come up into this position? Again, size matters. I've been face smashed into the ground, sitting up to go for an underhook, and all of a sudden my nose is on the ground. I'm going, holy crap, that was a lot of pressure, okay? So I'm gonna get my knee shield in play, I'm gonna create my gap. This time though, when I sit up, I'm gonna go under Matt's butt, and I'm connecting to my own shin. So now, throw a whizzer. So right now, he has no power. The whizzer is almost gone. Because through here, I don't know if you guys can see, I reached around his butt and I've grabbed into my own shin to make my connection. So now I've gone to a very low underhook. High, medium, low. They're all variations of the same technique. So through here, again, play my head in tight. If he wants to go for a front headlock, he's gonna have to eat up that space and somehow make that connection. Now in this instance though, when he pushes in, it's gonna be difficult for me to switch directions on him. Not impossible, just difficult. So now if he starts driving in and really starts to make that connection, now this is where I'm gonna go under, go into my deep half sweep, holding on to my own shin, under his butt, lock into my own leg, become stable, protect my neck. When he becomes hyper aggressive to reach for me, as he comes towards my head, I disappear to go under his leg. So as he's going high, I go low. Man, isn't that a strategy we've heard throughout all kinds of different movies and stuff? You go high, go low. Okay? He goes high, I go low, he's pushing in, and we make the sweep. Make sense?